This video is an introduction to the course Research Data Analysis and Evaluation for School Leaders. The first video is to go over the syllabus and the course expectations. Basically, this course will use a lot of videos, kind of like what we're doing right now, some practice with some software programs, discussion boards, and a program called Elluminate that allows us for you to stay at home, but we can see and talk to each other, and we'll kind of use that as a tutorial session. We'll get into that a little bit more. Basically, this is a brand new course. I've never taught this course before. It's a course that I've designed, and the idea is that rather than doing a file paper, the course is designed to teach people how to use data to make decisions. You can see my phone number, the office hours, the description of purpose. The prerequisite for the course is Introduction to Research, EDUC 5053. The required resources is there's a book called Educational Research and Age Accountability, and there is a software package that you can basically rent. If you'll click on that link, this will come up, and you go down here, this Statistics Grad Pack, click on that. So I'll move this over just a little. The one that you want to use is this IBM SPS Statistics Base Grad Pack for Windows. It's $35 to rent it for 6 months. That really is the easiest way to get to it. If you are close to a place that has SPSS, you don't have to rent it. You can go somewhere and do it. If you're in Wichita Falls, you can come up to the Psychology Lab Midwestern. They do have that available. But in order to do many of the assignments, you're going to be able to need to have access to that. Next thing we're going to look at is how the course is put together. Rather than going through week by week, we're going to do modules. So there are, if you look at your syllabus, 10 modules that we're going to go through. And that doesn't necessarily mean that the first module is a week long, the second module is a week long. Some of them will be longer than others. We get down here towards the bottom of it's non-experimental quantitative designs. That won't take a week to go through. So we'll spend the time on a module. There's assignments that will come with that, some discussion boards, some practice that you need to go through, and then we'll move on to the next module. The grading in the course. There is an assignment, the first assignment you have called Decision Making in Schools. There's an action research project. This is a major assignment. This takes place in your file paper, and we'll get into discussion about that a little bit later on. There's a midterm exam, which is 75 points, a final exam with 100 points, and then discussion in the 10 modules. As I said, there's 10 modules. There's discussion threads for each of those, and you're required to participate in that. You can see the breakdown on the grades. The attendance and participation. This is an online course, and you can kind of see this, but basically here's the deal, is you usually spend 3 hours a week in a face-to-face course. And in the past, there's been an expectation that you spend, for every hour of course instruction, you spend 2 hours getting ready. So basically, you ought to spend about 9 hours per week on a class. That expectation doesn't change just because it's an online course. You're expected to spend quite a bit of time getting ready for class and quite a bit of time participating in the class. So there's online discussion threads that you'll participate in. There's reading. There's out of your book. There's practice that will come from the software program, the SPSS. You're expected to participate in the online discussions. And there need to be good discussions, not, yes, I agree, no, I don't agree with that, good point, good job, not that kind of stuff. The way to get the points is to have frequent and engaged discussions almost daily, that you're reflecting upon what others are saying, that you open new discussions about the reading. Okay, the course assignment. The first one's called Decision Making School Assignment. This is just a brief overview of it. And basically, this is due in the first couple of weeks of school. The school administrators are constantly bombarded with opportunities to make decisions. What I want you to figure out is how is it that people are making decisions in school. It's a very short assignment, but relative to the purpose of the course. Because what I want to see is how do most people do this in comparison to how we're going to do it. Which leads to the second item, the action research project. Your main requirement in this course in terms of what you're going to do is identify a problem, investigate the variables impacting the problem, investigate solutions, choose one based on gathered information, implement the solution, determine whether or not the solution worked using some kind of database decision making, and then explain what occurred to a group of people. Here's an overview of that. You need to begin identifying what your problem is going to be very early on in the course, and we'll have a discussion thread about this. It needs to be related to instruction, whether it's a curriculum issue or instruction design issue. It can't be school climate, that kind of thing. It needs to be related to instruction. The midterm and final exams will be extended. They'll be open book. You know, one of the caveats of an online course is you have a lot of exposure to a lot of resources. Well, that's the way working as a school leader works. You have a lot of resources available to you, so the exams will be designed that way. And here's the thing about that: if you're an engineer, we wouldn't want to count on you memorizing formulas to build the bridge we drive on. We want you to be able to use all the resources available. Here's the important dates, when things are due, when the window opens for the midterm exam, when it closes. You need to be able to create your action research project, write it up, and I'll give you some more details about that in the discussion board, and when the window for the final exam opens and closes. And once it's closed, it's closed. So that pretty much covers the basics of the course and what's expected. And then we'll get into using the discussion board some specific assignment requirements.